How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Lin Wood, the attorney that's out there with Sidney Powell and a few others fighting for election integrity, fighting for the president, and fighting for the American people. I appreciate all of the above things that I mentioned, but I don't like the way he is going about it. Lin Wood is doing this in the entirely wrong way. And I know I might get ratioed for saying that. I understand, and that's fine. I've always been the kind of guy to say how I feel and not how others think that I should feel, because I feel like this needs to be said. Not enough of us are saying it, but I got to come out and say it. Now, before I go any further, let's roll this clip. In this clip, you'll see Lin Wood at a recent press conference / rally. I think it was in Georgia. And you got to hear what he says about the election coming up in Georgia. After we get done watching that, I'll talk about what he said there. Then I'll give you my 2 cents, my deep, detailed analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Are more alike than we are different. But I'm going to disagree with Vernon Jones. Where's Kelly Loeffler here? Where's David Perdue? He ought to be standing right here. Those two people want your vote, then they ought to tell you what we're... Get a special session of the legislature now. Do not be fooled twice. This is Georgia. We ain't dumb. We're not going to go vote on January 5th in another machine made by China. You're not going to fool Georgians again. If Kelly Loeffler wants your vote, if David Perdue wants your vote, they've got to earn it. They've got to demand publicly, repeatedly, consistently, Brian Kemp call a special session of the Georgia legislature. And if they do not do it, if Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue do not do it, they have not earned your vote. Don't you give it to them. Why would you go back and vote in another rigged election? For God's sakes, fix it. You gotta fix it before we'll do it again. They've already got 800,000 absentee ballots. They're printing them out.
All right, you saw that, you heard that. Now, that was completely irresponsible. Okay, I understand the emotion. I understand the desire to get some things done and to have this election go the right way. I'm with you. I think the election was stolen, of course. But to say something like that was just ridiculous. You cannot encourage people to not vote in the Senate race in Georgia. You just can't do it. Now, right away, some are going to say, hey, ABL, that's not what he said. He said that, we demand election integrity, that Loeffler and Purdue, they got to be out there with us and all this and that. I understand. But see, the general takeaway people get from that, not everybody, but a lot of us, is don't vote coming up because the GOP, they don't deserve it. They didn't earn it. And it's going to be the same thing that happens, the same Chinese machines, because he said that. We're not going to go out there and vote on them same Chinese machines. So it won't be a new or different machine coming up in January. This is December. Okay, time's a wasting. The election in Georgia is in January. So it's not going to be a new machine. And what if Loeffler and Purdue aren't out there with Lin Wood and Sidney Powell? And by the way, Lin Wood and Sidney Powell are not part of Trump's legal team. Okay, they're acting on their own. And that's fine for them to be out there as citizens, but this is not like, part of Trump's representation. It's just not. They're out there on their own. And as a matter of fact, Trump said, I appreciate you guys and your passion and whatnot, and that's fine, but I need you guys to go out there and vote still for Kelly Loeffler and Purdue in Georgia. Please don't boycott the vote. Please don't write Trump's name in there. Trump said that himself. So who, aside from Sidney Powell and or Lin Wood, are saying this? Democrats. Democrats have a whole billboard campaign out there in Georgia saying nearly the exact same thing as what Lin Wood is saying, because that works for them. If Republicans don't vote in this upcoming election and then let the Democrats have it, then that's great for the Democrats. That's fantastic. because it's what they want anyway. And this election in Georgia is very important because it's a Senate race, a Senate runoff. You got 2 seats up for grabs. If we get both seats, then we're able to have the majority in the Senate. So there's nothing that the Democrats can do to overtake us in the Senate. We got it. We'd be up 52-48. That's a great lead. However, if we lose both, then we're in a tie with them in the Senate 50-50. Now, if Trump is not successful in being able to prove election fraud and he's not able to overturn the results of Joe Biden winning, then what happens is Kamala Harris is the tiebreaker because she's the president of the Senate at that point. So anything that they want to do, they'll be able to get done because they have a Democrat House and a Democratic Senate and a Democrat White House. So you're going to have Chuck Schumer as a Senate Majority Leader and Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House. So it's like, what are you trying to do by boycotting the GOP election? Even if Trump is able to win and overturn the election and he's in there, you're still going to have a Senate that's kind of like, kind of deadlocked. People aren't thinking very deeply. And then some would say, well, why should we reward the GOP? It's not about rewarding the GOP. See, when you vote for people, it's not about rewarding them. It's not about them. It's about us. They serve us. They are our employees. That's like saying, why would I hire somebody to reward them? You don't hire a person to reward them into your company. You hire a person because they have a particular set of skills that you need, to have your country run well. It's not about rewarding them. That's the wrong way to even see it. Okay. And if you don't vote for the GOP, the Democrats are going to win. Now, some are saying, well, the GOP, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. They're bringing up policy from years ago. It's like, what does that got to do with right now in the GOP in Georgia? What does that got to do with it? That's just general problems with the GOP that have been there since before Trump came in office, since Reagan and even like 80s, 90s, early 1900s. Things that have been there all the time. No party that is out there is perfect, but you got to pick the one that serves you best. The Democrats obviously do not serve you best. If not for a Senate majority, there would be no Amy Coney Barrett. You would also have Merrick Garland. Because remember, the only reason why Merrick Garland did not get confirmed in Obama's last term is because we had a GOP Senate. I think also a GOP House, but definitely a GOP Senate. He couldn't get anything done that way because we were able to block it. See, this is much, you're talking about judges being appointed, certain thing, rules going through, bills going through. Now, I know that the GOP has passed some bills that are kind of questionable. I understand that. But so as a president, sometimes you got to pass some things because it's your best option. It may not be a good option, but it's the best option. Okay. I do not support what Lin Wood is saying, talking about don't go out there and vote. All right. Now, like I said, I understand that he was like, well, they got to do X, Y, and Z, then they got to earn it or whatever. But the takeaway that the vast majority of us or people that may want to take his words to heart, the message is don't vote because the GOP didn't earn it. The machines are corrupt. That's the general thing. It's an anti-GOP sentiment. And I could get into Lin Wood's past about how he was voting Democrat up until 2018. He allegedly voted for Stacey Abrams, gave money to the person that lost in the primary to Stacey Abrams as a Democrat. So I could talk about that, but that's not necessarily the point. But maybe it is a point because Lin Wood, is a Georgia voter. So if you're voting for Democrats in Georgia, and you have been doing so up until 2018, maybe even 2020 this year, then it might make sense for you to say to Republicans, don't vote in the GOP election in Georgia for the Senate because it might help you if you're a Democrat. I'm not saying that's what he is saying. All I am saying is that it would make sense. And Democrats in Georgia have billboards targeting us as conservatives to not go out there and vote in the election. So the question you got to ask yourself as I close is this. If we don't vote, if Georgians don't vote in Georgia for the GOP, who does it help? Does it help us as conservatives, as the GOP, as people that support Trump, or does it help the other side? Does it help Democrats? Does it help Kamala Harris, Joe Biden? Does it help Chuck and Nancy? Who does it actually help? Who are you helping with what you're doing? Are you helping yourself or the other team? But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think I'm wrong about my statements about Lin Wood? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or am I right? If that's your viewpoint, let me know in the comments below. I think what Lin Wood has done as far as some of these civil cases, Kyle Rittenhouse, Nick Salmon, are great, fantastic, stupendous, marvelous, tremendous. But to say don't go out there and vote, and then I heard he said something about martial law, the election and election law and things like that, this is really deep, really serious. You're talking about the future of our entire nation and the future of the world. This ain't just a case in the courtroom where a guy, he can get some money from a corporation. That's not even, it's light years apart, way different. You're talking about like civil stuff versus deep state. I'm talking years, espionage. It's a whole different level. And I'm not sure that Lin Wood is equipped to be able to deal with it. Okay. This case cannot just happen just overnight so quickly. This is going to take time. It may even take beyond the inauguration. Unfortunately, the whole Russiagate kerfuffle took 3 years, and they had nothing to begin with. We have a mountain of evidence, in my humble opinion. So this case may take a very long time to be able to decide. I'm not sure what the end result is going to be, nor do I know how long it's going to take. But what I do know is saying to not vote in the upcoming election for any reason is ridiculous if you are a conservative. If you're a conservative and you say don't vote for the conservatives because X, Y, and Z, the X, Y, and Z is really irrelevant because all you're doing is hurting yourself in the end. You can't boycott yourself to hurt the other team. When you boycott yourself, you help the other team. Democrats, they're laughing. I'm going on the internet, so I'm going on these shows, I'm reading the columns, I'm looking at news, I'm watching everything, and Democrats all support it. It's like, yeah, go out there and boycott. Don't vote. That's what they want. As I close, I'm going to say this. The president is fighting a fraudulent election, and the objective is to find the votes that were cast that were legitimate versus illegitimate. If we did not vote, there would not be enough legitimate votes to count. You understand? So if we don't vote in the GOP in Georgia, and something happens with the vote, when they try to go back and see what's going on, they're not going to see the legitimate votes if we go out there and just and boycott. You see, we have to do the right thing regardless of what's going on. I understand the frustration. I understand the impatience. I get it. I'm with you. But we got to do the right thing regardless. And to not vote is the wrong thing. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.